Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series. How is everybody doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. We're coming at you live right now, the time of this broadcast, and we've got an incredible guest that's joining us from New York City. Yes, of course, known as a former American model extraordinaire, but also a brilliant singer, songwriter, touching upon a lot of different genres and styles of music. Of course, dance pop, but he gets into doo-wop and a lot of other cool things as he continues to find his voice as he enters the recording studio, which he's been doing quite a bit lately. He's got some cool things to share with us. We're talking about Scott Gardner. Yes, he is joining us here from New York City. We're very excited about it. He's excited too. We've been putting this together for a while, and we're so excited. He's got a very busy schedule, and you guys know my schedule. I mean, flying all over the country. We're doing Dallas, and I'm headed to Sacramento, and then Reno on TV shoots, Fort Lauderdale in 2 weeks. I mean, well, Scott knows how that is. He's been traveling a lot, and he's traveled a lot during his career. He's a terrific dance pop singer songwriter, and he's going to join us in just a second. And as I mentioned, not just pop, but he gets into a lot of other genres. And this is our first time welcoming Scott exclusively to our Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series. How's everybody doing? It's so good to see all your smiley faces. Well, you didn't know I could actually see through the screen and see all of you. Some of you are dressed up to the nines. Some of you are in shorts and your pajamas, but that's okay. We're comfortable. You don't know if below here, if I have shorts on, pants on, or I'm just wearing slippers. You don't know. Well, it's theater of the mind. Welcome, gang. Good to have you here. If this is your first time, nice to have you with us. We encourage and invite you to participate if you want in our JMS Lovity chat room. That's the chat room which is open and available for you right now. When you subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's the channel you're watching right now, Jim Masters TV. There's a little bonus, a little gift we give you, and that's the opportunity to chat amongst yourselves with each other in our exclusive live JMS Lovity chat room. When you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, you get to do that. And it's really, really cool. And so many of you, I mean, there's tons of comments already built up. We'll take a look at some of those. We might even sprinkle a few of those on our screen as well. Don't forget, if you would like to support the series, super chat, super emojis, super stickers, super thanks, those are all available during the show. And also the super thanks is available 24/7. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget to give us a hearty thumbs up. We would love that if you enjoy this episode and all the episodes you enjoy. How's everybody been doing? We've been really, really busy, as I mentioned, traveling and all over the place. But it's always good to have you guys here, and always terrific to have you a part of the show. As I mentioned, Scott's been doing his thing for quite some time now. First, as a very, very popular and successful model, he's transitioned into, and he loves singing, and he also loves songwriting too. That's something that is near and dear to his heart. He also loves performing. And again, he's been doing this kind of work out in the public eye for quite some time, and he absolutely loves it. And he's very talented, and he's got a great voice too. As I mentioned, that'll stop traffic, won't it? Of course, a renowned model over the years too, and he's been in everything and on everything from magazines to billboards to fashion design. I mean, you've seen him everywhere over the years, I am sure. But he's also put out a lot of fantastic music, and we're excited about it. We're going to talk about all the different material that he has out and more. And even if you love Christmas, he's got covered too. Want you here for Christmas. He's waiting for you for Christmas. And again, he's really, he's an enjoyable person to chat with, because he really, just loves what he does. And we're going to chat with him about a lot of cool things that are happening in his life right now, and all the cool things that he's doing. Of course, there's this album too, which is really, really popular, and the single, and we're going to talk about it all. So if you are excited, gang, certainly let us know by leaving a comment for us on the YouTube channel, saying hello, letting us know where you're watching from. That is always cool. We love to know where you guys are watching from. because we have an international audience. The viewers tune in from all over the place, whether you're watching live or you're watching this Memorex, you're watching this later on in the JMS archives. Let me tell you a little bit more about our very special guest. He grew up in Northern California, and he's been singing and dancing most of his life. He was a competitive cheerleader, and he's held a successful career modeling internationally for over 10 years, living and working in Asia, Los Angeles, and New York City. And he's been writing his own music and lyrics for the past 5 years, developing songs that told stories about his own life experiences, then saving them away to one day record these songs when he felt the moment was right. 2019, he moved to Miami, got married, put his modeling career on hold to finally pursue his dream of recording and sharing the music that he is so passionate about. He's developing and creating a unique music genre that appeals to people of all ages, too, with roots in 90s pop, 50s doo-wop, and even a bit of classic country. Also, he's completed the album and did some touring as well. And he believes that sharing music live should include high-quality technical performances. He not only works tirelessly on his music, but also works to perfect the dance and performance aspects of each song to ensure that the entire story can be both heard and seen visually. So he puts a lot of time into it. He's transitioned from, the modeling world and the success of the modeling world to singing and dancing and performing in the studio, recording, and of course, doing his thing on stage in front of audiences all over the country and beyond. And it's really cool to have him here on the show. So put your hands together. He's coming to us from the Big Apple from New York City. Scott Gardner is in the house. Scott, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. That was so nice watching that. I was like, wow, thanks.
That was you and you and you and you. You've done quite a bit, I tell you, my friend. And you started early, right? First came, was it the modeling that first came for you?
Yeah, so my mom really wanted me to do modeling, and she passed away when I was young. And so I was like, oh, I should go and do it because I feel like she'd really want me to do this. And so I just kind of went on a whim. And I was already out in Southern California because I moved out there for cheer and dance and stuff. And I just did Disney Channel Shake It Up, and I was like a featured extra cheerleader. And it was like my first paycheck that I got from that, and I was like so excited, and I was like, well, maybe this would be fun, doing it. And so I went and signed to Next Model Management, and then I got to do some traveling and live in Hong Kong, and it was really fun, and it was a way to experience my 20s, traveling and doing different experiences, meeting different kinds of people. It was really cool. I was really fortunate.
What was it like living in Hong Kong? That must have been a cool experience for you, Scott.
Yeah, it was crazy. I lived in Wan Chai, and I loved it. I had so much fun. It was so safe. It's one of the safest places. You can just go out to the nightclubs and walk home at nighttime. It was so fun. And it was great. It was a great time.
That is really cool. So you did that for a long time, and unbelievable. I mean, your phone must have been ringing off the hook because you were pretty much everywhere.
Well, I feel like I didn't do so much underwear at first. My agency was like, let's not do the underwear yet. Let's if you want to do shirtless, we can do shirtless, but let's try to, you know what I mean? So I was doing
shots like that.
Yeah, but that was for Coitus magazine. And so we ended up doing the underwear stuff. And then once I was like, okay, I'll do it. Then it was everybody was like, well, I want to, I want to shoot that.
Right.
So then I started working a lot and doing a lot of catalog jobs, and did some campaigns, commercials. Got to do a Lady Gaga commercial when I was 22. That was really fun.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was for the fragrance campaign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Fame. And that was really cool because I really like Lady Gaga. So at the time I was hesitant about it because at the time it was Judas had just come out and all that stuff. And I was the way I was raised, it was I was kind of nervous about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we all got in a little prayer circle, and we're just talking to amongst ourselves. And she comes over and she's like, hey, I just want to let you guys know, I'm, there's just Stephanie. And then there's the the product, you know what I mean? And like, I'm just I'm just like being creative, you know, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody or scare anybody and it just made us all feel so comfortable. And we were like, oh, she's really cool. And then after that, I was like a Lady Gaga fan for sure. I mean, I was like, okay, it's cool to listen to this music.
So how old were you when you started modeling, when that really started rolling for you, Scott?
I started doing like test shoots when I was 19, and then I got signed when I was 20 or 21.
Wow.
But
That's
it took a
something.
couple of years of just like, you know, doing some test shoots and like figuring out if, you know, like who's not like scummy and like,
Yeah, there's
but
a
it's not
lot of.
like it was like all the time. It was like a few test shoots within like a couple of years, and I was still figuring out if that's what I wanted to do and how I would do it. And I met this really cool guy named Jim Tanner, and he's he's also a stylist and a costume maker, and he's like incredible. And he was one of the first people to take my pictures, and we submitted them to Next, and I got signed, and then we submitted them to Coitus, and the Coitus was like, well, we want to put you on the cover. And at the time, like River Vipiri and Marlene Texera and Francisco Lachowski, they all did the covers. And I was so excited to get to do the cover because I was like, oh my gosh, those are like huge models. And I just got signed, you know? So it was really exciting. And I just remember being so happy.
That's
And
cool, huh?
yeah, it was cool.
And then did things just start rolling from there? Everybody started realizing who Scott was, and you
Yeah, I
know.
don't know. I feel like I just got lucky. And then I booked some Adidas commercials and started doing like I did Ralph Lauren, like, and just like small little catalog stuff, you know what I mean? And that just got me to New York. And I was working for Lisa Vanderpump in Hollywood, in West Hollywood, at Pump Restaurant. And that's where I met my husband. And so I ended up moving to New York for modeling. And he was like, oh, cool, you're closer, because he was in Miami. And he was like, so if I fly in there, like, can we hang out? And I was like, yeah, of course. So then he started flying in all the time. So then I moved to Miami after we got married for a while. And I didn't want to do any more modeling and stuff because I was just like, it was really hard, like on my diet all the time. I was so just wanting to eat, you know? And
Yeah.
I remember my husband said, are
There's you
you
guys
living?
there, right?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
remember my husband said, are you eating to live or are you living to eat? And I was just like, ugh, man, like sometimes I just want to eat a burger and not get stressed out about the calories. And like sometimes I just want to have the shake and so I just started getting more comfortable and that's not always picture perfect, you know? So
Right.
but I've learned to like love myself anyways and still eat the burger.
Did you find when you were really in the thick of modeling that you were losing your own identity as far as who Scott was? Was the, hey, this is Scott. He does all this other stuff. Was that sort of bubbling underneath and rising eventually to the surface to where you said, I love the modeling and that's great. And it's been great experiences and I've met fabulous people, but there's other stuff I want to do. I want to sing. I want to,
Yeah.
communicate with
Oh,
people. I want
yeah.
to,
I
yeah.
mean, I was like, and I was doing cheer and I was doing dance before all this, and I was working for jams, like, and so we were like traveling all the time and giving national bids out and stuff. And I was like, man, I want to perform, like, and I was like watching all of these people that were newer. And when I grew up, it was like Britney Spears and NSYNC and Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson and all these people who are just like it was so exciting to watch the performance part. It was like that was what everyone was looking forward to. And so I was like, oh, I want to do that so bad. And so then fast forward now, like I have my music out and it's crazy, but sometimes it's also like I'm like, that's a lot of rehearsal time the way the way that they were doing it, because I'm like, it's hard, like, because I got to perform for Jingle Ball and I got to open for Lizzo for Live Love Live and stuff.
Yes.
And
Isn't
all
that
that. So
incredible? Yeah,
that
I
was like
know.
my moment of like, okay, this is gonna be my little Janet Jackson moment. We're gonna have fun and we're gonna, you know what I mean? It was just great.
I was going to say you performed for the Live Life Love concert for suicide prevention in
Yeah.
Nashville, opening for Lizzo and Louis
Mhm.
Tomlinson, Chelsea Cutler, and many other major
Oh,
artists.
Louis fans
Wow.
were the best fans. Oh my gosh. Me and my husband, we were staying at this little house in Nashville and the night before, and he was like, we should go bring the fans waters because there's a lot of fans that are outside waiting outside of the arena and for just because they were staying out all night just so they could get in and see their pop stars. And so we get there with all the waters, and we also brought hot chocolates and hot coffees. And the girls were so excited, like they were so nice. And the next day, when I came back and I was performing, I got on the stage and I looked down in the front, and the girls were in the front, and they made little posters for me too. And these were like the Louis fans and all the, you know what I mean? They came for like Lizzo and so, but just because I did something nice for them, it was so sweet that they made those little signs. And I still remember that. And I'm like, oh, that was so sweet. Oh no.
So you have also been able to perform on stages in DC and Miami for that epic, like you mentioned, iHeartRadio Jingle Ball. What was
Yeah.
that? What was that like?
Oh, that was so much fun. I mean, I got to, yeah, I opened for Zara Larson, and I love Zara Larson. I think she's so cool. And so I was so excited. And AJ Mitchell, we got to open with him in DC, and he was a really cool kid, and his voice is amazing. And it was cool though, because we had different styles. Like he just sat at a keyboard and like belted and was like amazing. And mine was more of like the like show, like let's get up and dance and like just totally different styles, but it totally worked, and like we both like had a good time, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you got a chance to be on the bill there with some of the biggest stars of today, and BTS,
Yeah,
Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Billie Eilish, the Jonas Brothers as well.
yeah, I was the only unsigned artist in history to ever do Jingle Ball.
Wow, huh?
I was like, what? When they told me I was performing, I was like, are you sure? Like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
So they saw something. That's they saw something in you, and they wanted you to be a part of it, and
Yeah,
that's a
well, I was
fantastic
recording.
experience.
I was recording my music at SAE, which was a school, and my husband was doing business with iHeartRadio, and so they were like, "We need another artist. Like, do you have any at the school that are, that are cool, that are new, that are, you know?" And so he sent them my stuff, and they were like, "Yes, this is perfect. We love it. We want him to perform." So it was really cool. Oh no, your voice is cutting out.
Did
Oh,
you
wait.
get a chance to rub elbows with some of the others that were there too?
Yeah, like in the back, like when before we perform, I would go in and say, I mean, I'm really a shy person, so like I'm really shy. But Chelsea Cutler was really sweet, and Sarah Larson was very nice, and I didn't get to meet Lizzo though because I opened, and she didn't come till later, and I was so anxious about the performance and performing for
Yeah.
that many people that by the time like I had got off the stage, I was so tired
Right,
that I was
exactly.
like, I am so exhausted. I don't think I can wait until like 10:30 or 11 when she goes on. Like I opened like so early, so I was like, is it okay if we just go home and rest? I was just like,
Exactly.
that's fine.
You mentioned too that you did some competitive cheerleading as well. What was that like during that period? Because you had to really be physically fit and have a lot of energy and stamina to pull that off, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember I wanted to try out for cheer when I was in high school, and my grades at the time kept slipping down because I had so much like family drama was going on that it was hard to focus on school. And so like I did all the whole week of auditioning or getting the choreography and all this stuff, and all the competitive girls that I knew from competitive cheer team, they were all trying out. And so we were all excited because we were like, we're going to have guys on the team this year. There's competitive girls coming. Like, this is going to be a really good team. And then like a bunch of stuff happened in the school, drama happened. They fired the coach. And this new coach that was coming in was really strict on grades and stuff. So all the competitive girls, I didn't get on, none of the competitive girls got on. So I was like, I'm just going to go to an all-star gym then. And then I'm just going to do it there. Like, and I learned so much going into the all-star gym, and so much about performance and facials and like everything, like, you know, putting on a show, like all that stuff, that I feel like it was just God's plan, like, of no, I'm gonna raise the bar a little bit and, like, you know, make it just fall into play the way it's supposed to. And it totally worked out.
Did that help you develop sort of the dancing prowess that you have,
Yeah,
this ability to
because
be a great dancer?
I ended up then from Cheer Odyssey, I ended up going to this cheerleading team called Starstruck in Modesto, and it was like Starstruck Cheer and Dance, and they were really focused on dance because across the street was Footnotes, and if you know, like, dance and all that stuff, it's like, you know, worlds, like, they're really good. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get to dance with these really good dancers, like, you know, and I was so excited, and they kind of helped me. I remember I'm still really good friends with my friend Nico, and he really helped me find my groove and like my just feeling comfortable with my body and like really getting into dance. And I had done some hip hop before, but I feel like we were at that gym all the time, like every day, like wanting it so bad, you know? And yeah, that was like I was so hungry for that.
Did you ever consider any of those, you know, performance competition shows, American Idol, America's Got Talent, So You Think You Can Dance, all these different shows? Did you think about any of those along the way?
There was like one time where I met this producer, and he brought me up into his office, and he said, he was like, oh, I'm the producer for American Idol. Like, do you want to audition? And I was like, sure. So I auditioned and sang for him, and then I never got a call back or anything. But that was it. That was the extent of it.
Did you like that? What was that process like? Did you like it? Was it probably nerve-wracking, huh?
Well, with music, it's so nerve-wracking because it's like, with modeling, it was like, oh, this could be fun. But with music, it's like, I want this so bad. I love doing this. This makes me happy. Like, I want to record one day in the studio. Like, I want to see what that's like. Like, and so when you're auditioning for that opportunity, and you put so much pressure on yourself, and you put so much pressure on, you know, the audition, and you, like, sometimes you lose sight, and you don't, like, you might go in there and not do your best because you're like, I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's probably what happened.
Yeah. So, you know, as you were coming up the ranks, what were some music that you were listening to? Like, who were the artists that sort of inspired you musically over the years?
So I really loved Carole King, like, when I was younger, just because her songwriting, and I saw the play on Broadway, Beautiful. That was like one of my first Broadway shows I saw, and that made me just, oh my gosh, I want to write a song one day. Like, that would be so cool. And all her messaging that was amazing to me. And so when it came to songwriting, it was Carole King and Sheryl Crow, and just like Suck Up the Sun is like one of my favorite songs. And I'm just like, I have a true, like, respect for singer-songwriters, and even Taylor Swift, like, obviously, I mean, who isn't a Taylor Swift fan? I feel like, but performing wise, like I said before, it was always like a Janet Jackson or Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, like all that stuff. Those were the people that we grew up watching, and I mean, always put on a show. And, you know,
you mentioned Broadway. Is that something that you would love to eventually, hopefully, take part in? Broadway show?
No, I feel like that's so funny because me and my husband always go down to Maria. It's like the best restaurant in New York. It's so good. And we met these friends, and we were like, oh, we should come up and have a cocktail. Like, we live like really close. And they were like, oh, asking me like, what do you do? Do you do music? Or I was like, I do music. And they were like, oh, you should sing for us. And the girl was like, I heard a lot of Broadway in that. And she was like, have you ever like thought about like doing that? You should totally audition. And I was just like, I don't know. I just feel like you have to be so perfect to be on Broadway. And I just feel like I'm just like, I'm not perfect every time. And I'm just like, I like doing pop music. Like I have fun getting in the studio and the writing it and doing the character voice and like the having fun with it. And just, I like doing the whole recording. So I don't know, but and I feel like a live audience like that, you know, like, I don't know. Like,
he'll think about it, folks, and the next time he's back on the Jim Masters show, he'll have an answer for us.
right.
Right now, he's thinking about it. He's mulling it over. He's considering it. You know, if a script or something comes his way, he probably will look at it.
I did hear about my husband was telling me about this. They were flipping the narrative in London. They were doing a play but they were doing Cinderella, but they were doing like Chris or Fella. And so it was like a flip, but it was still like all the in my own little corner and like all those songs. So I was like, oh my gosh, I would totally do that.
That is fun. So what's a typical day? Now you're from the West Coast originally. You lived in Miami. You've been all over. You did Hong Kong, and now you're in New York. How do you like the East Coast?
I love the East Coast. I love the people here. I love the food here. I love the diversity here. I think it's really cool. Like I was telling you earlier before we started the show, I feel like when I lived even in LA, I feel like there's so many people of, oh, I want to be an actor. I want to be a model. I want to be a singer. It's a lot of that. And that's cool because you get to meet a lot of people that you have a lot in common with. But it's also really cool in New York that there's so much more diversity of like, oh, I want to be an architect or I want to be like this or that. It's just not like all the same. So it just feels like when I share my story, it's so different. They don't hear it from everybody all the time. They're not like, you know what I mean? So they want to know so much, and it makes me feel good because I'm like, oh, I have done a lot, and I don't really sit there and like talk about it a lot. So when people ask me questions and it does make me reflect more, and then it makes me be like, oh, that is cool. Like good for you.
Right. And the pizza's pretty good here too, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I just had pizza like 2 nights ago.
Did you really?
I did.
Now, do you still watch? I mean, when you were doing heavy duty modeling for all those years, you had to sort of really watch a certain strict diet and get a lot of sleep and exercise and be fit. You still do that? Do you still maintain your health?
Yeah. I mean, I still go to the gym. I still like, and even like lately, I feel like I've had a passion to get back into it even more. So, and it comes in waves though. Like, I feel like because I guess I a little bit abused it and when I was doing modeling. So I almost like resented it for a minute. So I stopped working out so much and doing all that. And now I'm getting back into it. Now I'm just feeling better. And I know I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm just doing it for myself. And that makes it feel so much better.
Linda in Florida, she actually says, I was always curious about models having to basically starve themselves to do photo shoots and that the camera made models bigger than they actually were.
Right.
Did you feel that way?
Yeah, like I feel like sometimes it was like I was a 28-inch waist, but they were making me look like this meathead on the edits were making me look a little like bigger, like I was, but I didn't understand. And they would always want me to gain weight. Like they would say, Scott, you need to gain weight. But if I gained weight, I couldn't keep the super crazy 6-pack that I had, or I couldn't keep, you know what I mean? So it was like, I just kept, and I was just like, no, I don't want to do it. And my mom had an eating disorder. So she like tried to push that onto me. Like, I love my mom. She was a good mom. She passed away. Like, I'm not saying anything bad, but she did try to push that onto me. And so going into modeling, it was really hard to have people, like so many people want to be your friend for that reason, or want to just I don't know, it was like so some of it was so cool, and some of it was just a little bit dark for me, and so like that's why I don't do it as much. but I loved doing it. I did, and I got to do lots of cool stuff.
And you
But
certainly got a look,
yeah,
you know? Yeah, I could see
yeah,
why, the phone rang and everything. Uh,
thank you.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting because based on how they would shoot everything, it's almost as even like your ethnicity would change based on their shots, which is very cool, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that's just probably me, like being like in the. Well, I'm Portuguese and Spanish, so I get a little bit of sun and I'm like, then I step out of it and I'm lighter. So I don't know. Maybe I guess so.
That's cool. That's really, really cool. So, what's a typical day like for you now with the music? Are you always being inspired? Are you always writing
I
songs?
will literally lock myself in the bathroom and sit on the floor and just like with a notepad and try so hard to come up with new hooks because I love a good hook. And so like I feel like I'm always just and sometimes it's just like inspiration like comes to you and you're like, yes. But then sometimes you're like, that wasn't as good as I thought. So luckily I have like friends and like I'll send them voice memos. I'm like, do you like this? And they're into music too. And so they'll be like, yeah, that was cool. Or they won't respond and I'll be like, noted.
Did you ever enjoy Elvis Presley's music at all over the
Oh
years?
yes. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. When I grew up, like when I was a kid, my grandparents like all they played was Elvis, and we would go
Elvis,
on trips to Lake Tahoe, and we'd go on trips to Reno, and they would play Elvis the whole way there.
the whole
And
way
me and my
there.
sister would pretend that it was our tour bus because it was like this big little van.
That's cool.
But,
I say that because it's really, really cool. And I don't know if it was you were paying homage to him or the people that designed it, but this is so incredibly, and it's very cool, similar to that,
oh,
isn't
I love
it?
that. No, I
Isn't
just
that cool?
yeah, I have that jacket in red and I have that jacket in black and I shot it. I just was like, I want to see it in red. And the jacket is black. And he was like, I can Photoshop it red. And I was like, yeah, can
It's
you?
perfect for
So
Christmas.
he
Yeah.
just Photoshopped it red and that's how it came out. But I do love Elvis, so I love
But
that.
it's a similar sort of right. It's
Yeah,
like
I know.
it's
I love
really,
that.
really
Like,
cool.
that's the universe.
Yeah, I tell you. This is cool too.
Oh yeah, I was so excited for that.
Tell us about that.
I love PG, so I wanted to write a song that I felt like I could um, kind of put the message out there of like for because I just did Jingle Ball and stuff, so I didn't know if like iHeartRadio was gonna ask me to do another event, and a lot of those people out there are like 12 to 14, so I wanted to keep it still like family friendly, but at the same time like not for people like that age not to have to feel pressure,
Yeah.
like so we can keep it clean, we can keep it PG. And like my niece is 13 and like I know she's going to go through that, and so I try to just put like good positive like messages out there for when I do release my music.
That's
So that
great.
was just like a really big cool thing that I felt like I was like that was kind of for her, like. And but the just with Black Lives Matter and everything, I was like, everyone expects me to just color my husband, but I just feel like it should be more inclusive, and I just felt like I wanted to do it like that. So that's
That's
why.
really nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really, really nice. Here's another.
yeah, that was not my favorite diner. It's at Brooklyn Diner.
Yeah.
I just went in front of it and was like, let's do this cool shoot. I love this diner. So they were like, the people inside were watching. We were like, hey, is it cool if we do this? They're like, yeah,
Is
sure.
that the one in Manhattan?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that a great diner?
Yeah, it's
That's one
so
of my
good.
favorites too.
Oh, it's
Oh,
so yummy.
yeah.
Love Brooklyn Diner. Yeah, and I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that. That song was I was listening to a lot of Paul Abdul at that time. And I was like, oh, I really want to do like a cool like mix of like Cold Hearted Snake meets like a little bit of like Prince, like like and I just was like, so that we came up with that. And usually I just write the melody and then I plug in the lyrics and I take it and I send it to my producer and then he kind of builds around it. So, and then, but sometimes like recently, I also have new music that's coming out that he just kind of created a beat and I just wrote to it. So sometimes it always happens like so differently. Like you never know how it's gonna, where the inspiration is gonna come from and how it's gonna come out. But yeah, I loved that album. That was fun.
What are some of the things that do inspire you? Are you always like watching people, observing life? Is it a lot from your, like I said earlier in the introduction, from your own experiences of life that you are moved by that sort of help pen the music for you?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a big part of songwriting is being really honest and just diving into specific events and like how did I feel like during that moment, and that's how I'm going to connect with an audience. I feel that if I create that experience again, then they're going to remember that experience too, for that I can connect to, relate to. And so that's what I try to do. I try to just connect to memories a lot of times when I'm songwriting. I'll just think about like a old relationship. Like for daydreaming, like I just thought about this old crush that I used to have on this guy, and I would daydream about him like all the time. It was so sad. And and so like I was like I tapped into that and I was like, oh yeah, like I remember feeling like that. And I remember like just, obsessing about this person. And I was like, I want to write a song about that. And so that's when I wrote Daydreaming. And to me, it sounded like do, 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 do in my head. Like I was like, oh, I could totally hear this being like a cool, like housey song and house song, and it came out great. I love it.
That's cool. People have been commenting they love the apartment. They can see
Oh,
behind you.
thanks.
It's really nice.
Thanks. Yeah, my husband's a really good interior designer on the side. He does that like for fun.
That's
So
cool. Yeah. Yeah. He's putting it all to work. It looks really, really nice. Absolutely. Thanks for these great comments coming in as well. And Uniclaire Mayanne, she's watching from the Philippines. She says
oh cool.
hello. It was cool coming in from the Philippines. They're watching from literally all around the world.
Oh goodness.
Um, this cool. Tell us about this. This is a cool look. And because, like I said, you're really tapping into a lot of different genres, not just like dance and
Hmm.
pop, but like you're getting into country and some doo
Yeah.
wop. And tell us about all that.
So I was like also listening to a lot of Megan Trainor too, and I really liked her vibe, and I loved her songwriting, and I loved her melodies, and just I thought she was really great. So a lot of her the doo-wop stuff, I got a lot of inspiration for that. And this is literally a sweater that I found on Amazon.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. I was like, I needed like a cool, like old, like 1950s, like
Yeah.
sweater, because I that's what I saw in my head, and for Fall for You, and so I was like, oh, we'll put a little S on it, and the other dancers can have G's, and so I got them red ones, and I got Mia, or black ones, and I got me a white one, and then for Jingle Ball for Christmas, I wore the red one, and it was really fun. It was really great. It was
Yeah.
cool. We all stayed in a house together, like me and the dancers, and we all had so much fun.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was cool. We like got an Airbnb and just all stayed in this big house and like stayed up watching movies, and it was cool.
What was it? What is it like putting a show together? I mean, that's pretty an intense project,
Yeah,
amount of
it was.
time.
I mean, I'm not super used to. I mean, I hadn't done a competition or cheered or danced in a long time. So I mean, I took a break was doing modeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to jump right back into performing like that was like I was like so nervous but so excited at the same time, because I did choir when I was a kid, and I always like I did solos and would perform in front of school and stuff. So
Hmm.
I feel like I always like had it in me and I wanted to do it. So once the opportunity was there, I was just like, oh, I want to do a good job. And I knew it was going to be, like I said, like 12 to 14, like age range. So I wanted to be respectful of that and make sure it was like family friendly and everyone was going to enjoy it.
Do
And
you
everyone,
have a preference of like being out there performing on stage, or do you really love being in the studio recording and mixing and nailing it in the studio?
I think it's like totally different experience, but it's like so much. I really enjoyed the creating part. Like I love the creating part. And when I was younger, I was living for performing. But now I'm like, it gives me anxiety. Sometimes I'm like, I get like the last performance, I was like, oh, I get so nervous. And I'm like, I just need to keep remembering to have fun and like, you know what I mean?
Are you a perfectionist?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so once I'm on stage, I'm like, oh, it
yeah,
all just goes away and I have fun
yeah.
and I perform and it just like comes out and it's fun. And but the preparation before, I'm just like, you want to do more choreography, but you need to be breathing and like singing at the same time. And so like it's just like it was a hard balance for me of doing I want to dance, but like I can't do too much because then I'm going to sound super winded and you know what I mean? It was just finding balances and learning what I was more comfortable with. And then at the end of the day, I was like, hey, if I can cut some choreography out and like focus on the breathing, that's cool too.
Right.
First memorize, I was like, woo.
Yeah. It's a lot, right?
Yeah, it's a lot to do all at the same time. And then you gotta and it's not like you can just you gotta practice that for like a good like couple months, you know what I mean? Or like at least a month like of good practice in order to do something. Like I just found out from right now that I'm doing a performance in Long Beach in November and I'm like, okay, time to put it together what we're gonna do. Haven't got all the
Y
details for it yet, but I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Do you have any idea of what your vision is, what you're thinking about doing? Anything
I
that
think
you'd
I want to just do like a this time go around. I think I want to do a cool like acoustic set and just somebody with a guitar and just kind of like because it's online, so it's like virtual. So I want to keep it like simple, like you know.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So that'd be
I'll
cool. That's the whole
probably fly my producer and have him play the guitar.
That's
You
that's
know.
perfect. Well, that's the thing too. People are, the whole live streaming thing now. People could watch literally from anywhere,
Yeah.
as long as they get a ticket online or whatever, they can see it streamed. They don't have to. I mean, there's nothing like when people are there in the seats cheering and you get to see the people
Yeah.
and meet and greet and all. But when you have something, of the ilk of live streaming, I mean, it makes it so much easier for people to be able to watch from literally anywhere, right?
I know, and we live in a crazy world, man.
We sure do, and it's getting crazier by the minute. Linda was asking too what kind of music you listen to as well, and who influenced you to be a model and a singer. Well, yeah, some of the like if we came over there now to the apartment in the city, what would be in like your iPod or any other player you might have?
Right now, I really am
Your
feeling
boombox.
yeah. I really like Madison Beer. I think she's really cool. I like her music and I have this new song coming out. And I'm really excited about it. Just called Bad Habits. I got a lot of inspiration from Madison Beer and that song Confetti from who sings it? The Girl Group.
Yeah, I know it's all
Anyways, but
yeah,
I got
yeah,
inspiration from that. And so I feel like a lot of pop, I love a lot of like good pop music, like Megan Trainor, like I said before, Sarah Bareilles. I love Sarah Bareilles. Um, I love her voice, the clarity in her voice. I went and saw Into the Woods recently with her, and it was so good. But yeah, I feel like in my iPod right now, yeah, it's definitely Madison Beer. I'm listening lately. I've been listening to Jessica Simpson. Like, like
wow, yeah, going
my
retro.
music is so random. Like I feel like I love everybody. I literally listen to Justin Bieber. I love Charlie Puth's voice. I think he is like an amazing voice. I love all his harmonies that he does. I think it's amazing. Shawn Mendes, I think, is like his like the best voice. Like so. I feel like it just varies. Like my iPod is like everybody. I love
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
Ariana Grande, love Ariana Grande.
Oh yeah, right. You mentioned country too.
Mhm.
Who are some of the country performers you like? And is that
Um,
something that you really want to dabble even more in country?
I feel like I think it would be really cool. I love country music, so I love Tim McGraw, I love Faith Hill. I love the first album Taylor Swift did. It was a little more country pop. I feel like something like that would definitely be really cool. I just met a really good singer-songwriter in Nashville, so I'm crossing my fingers that he wants to continue to work with me and right. He's like on charts, like he's amazing. I don't want to jinx it or say anything, but I'm like, please work with me.
But his initials are right.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, please, I hope so. Because I haven't done co-writing in a while. I just did my first co-writing session like recently, and with my it was with my producer, so it's like so easy. Like, and it was like he had written the hook already, and he sent it to me, and he was like, "Do you want to just write like verses in it?" And it's kind of like a rap verse, like
Yeah.
very different than anything I've ever done, but I had so much fun doing it, and like it's going to be really cool. It's totally different.
That is cool. That is really, really cool. What about instruments? Playing instruments? Do you like to do that? Dabble in that?
I never played any instruments. I wish that I played the guitar.
Mm,
That would, or the piano. If I could play the piano, that would be so cool.
yeah. Yeah. Well, then, never say never, right? I mean,
Right. Right.
that's still there. What about touring other parts of the world? Is there
I
a
mean,
dream
like,
bucket
I
list?
feel like if I could open for somebody again, that
Yeah.
would be so cool. That is so much fun. I feel like opening for an artist is really cool. And eventually one day, like my goal is to like, I would also like to write music for other artists. And I feel like because when I first started, I didn't have the greatest like other singer-songwriters. Like some of them were really cool around me and some of them were not so supportive. So I feel like it made me just want to be a really like a giving back singer songwriter. Like I want to help other people that want to write music or that want, you know what I mean, that want to like don't really know how to do it, and they're like, oh, well, I have a good voice, but I need to help getting it down on paper.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, when you write a song, is it hard to get going? I mean, do you find it harder to get started or harder to know when the song is done and you're happy with it?
I feel like it's varies. Like the Christmas song I did, I wrote that in like 2 days.
Did you
And
really?
I was like, yeah, I was like, because iHeart was like, we really want a Christmas song for Jingle Ball. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I could do it. Totally, I could do it. And I'm like, just gotta write a Christmas song. It's fine. So I was like, but then I like sat down and I listened to so many different Christmas songs, and obviously like it's a lot of pays a lot of homage to like the Mariah Carey like One Year for Christmas too, and obviously there's that inspiration. And so yeah, I have fun, but sometimes it's like it's a process. Like I feel like with Daydreaming I wrote the hook in the verse, but then I feel like the chorus didn't come till later. Like I would put it off, and sometimes I'll write a song and then I'll really like the verse, but then I'll be like, I don't feel like it's a strong enough hook, but I have this other hook from this other song that I didn't really care for the verse, so like I'm just gonna switch them and then change the lyrics and make it work. So like I feel like it just ends up working like that.
How about this one?
Getting Over You. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, I was in like a really long 5 year relationship that wasn't the healthiest. And I was just like, I was like tapping into all of that emotion. And that was just, so when finally heard that song, I was just like, play out loud. I was like, that's really cool. Like, that I was able to take those feelings and that pain and make it into the like most fun pop song of a breakup ever.
Yeah, right.
It's like the happiest breakup song.
I was going to say, yeah, you look like happy and almost happy to be getting over that
Yeah.
person.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Fall For You I wrote for my husband. I was like, I wanted to write him a song, and we were recording music and that week, and so I wrote that one in a few days too. That was
Did you
really fun.
really?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I really want to write a new song for him, and I think he would be so excited So the first opening line is like, I don't need your money. It's true. No fancy trips to Rome and Paris, just you. Because he was like, oh, we can go to Rome and we can go to Paris and we're going to do all this. And I'm like, that's cool. But like, I just want to hang out with you, you know?
Can you do a bar or two a cappella just so they hear your voice? Because they're
Oh,
asking about
sure.
that. That would be awesome.
I don't need your money. Yeah, it's true. No fancy trips to Rome and Paris. Baby, just you. But if you got it, honey, I don't mind a thing or two. You can start with a kiss, but I'll warn you if you do. And then,
That's great. That's a great sound. Yeah,
I
wow.
know it makes me want to go into other ones. I'm like, the new ones, I'm so excited for it.
Maureen says, Maureen's watching in Arizona, says, you just don't take a bad photo, Scott. They're all exquisite.
Oh,
Merlin, who's watching in Toronto, Canada, do you write the lyrics and the music? So
yes.
compose and do the lyrics?
Yes.
You do
So
both.
I first write the melody, and then once I have like a cool, fun melody, then I'll write the hook or the verse or the chorus, and then I usually plug them all together, and it becomes that. But I do get help from my producer with structure. So sometimes he'll be like, okay, there needs to be a bridge here, or he'll be like, oh, nope, you did it. Like the hook is good. Let's just repeat it and like do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I definitely get help from him because I get stuck at sometimes, and sometimes the music that I think I'm writing or the melody, it'll change a little bit in the recording studio, and we'll be like, oh, that actually sounds better. So it's always, the demo is always so different from the final product.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah,
Yeah,
it totally is. It's like,
I'll go back and listen to old demos just to be like, oh wow,
wow, this is what we started with.
yeah,
It's really cool. Yeah, you get the producers, everybody involved, and it just sort of turns into something really remarkable. As a matter of fact, I don't know, you may have to do a little more a cappella because look at all the claps and hearts coming in from
oh,
Canada, from New York City, from Kathleen, from Sherry in Kansas, USA, Maureen in Arizona saying, very nice. We got nice voice, claps and hearts. Mary in Florida, fantastic. Cool stuff, huh?
that's
Cool
so
stuff.
sweet. Yeah, that makes me so happy.
Yeah. Yeah. When you get feedback from people, it's
Yeah,
nothing.
when you positive like feedback is always really, especially because with when it came to modeling and stuff, I feel like people assume that you get compliments all the time or something, and so like they're like don't want to give you compliments. You know what I mean? So I feel like I people would be surprised. I'm not getting that many. I mean, like you know what I mean?
And you probably sometimes even get people on the flip side of that, like because they see you, fit and the hair looks great and the
Yeah,
smile and the teeth and the whatever it is, fashion or magazine or whatever they're seeing it in, they're like almost like, who does he think he is? They don't
exactly.
know, they
And
don't
they always,
realize what it went into to do all of that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? All the hard work that you had to put in.
Yeah, exactly. And then they want you to be that perfect picture forever. And it's like, it's not realistic.
So it's kind of cool that you knew that because there's a lot of people who get into various roles, things early on, and you've even seen it sometimes with like child stars,
Yeah.
and then when that role ends, when that TV show ends, whatever, they don't know what to do next, and they've
Yeah.
been typecast as just that character on that TV show,
Yeah.
and then they go off the rails.
Yeah, because it's hard for them to digest different. And I feel like in change, some people just don't like change, but change is good. The only constant thing in life is change. So we just need to embrace it.
Right, exactly. Yes. You talked about exciting things that you're working on. What are some other exciting things that you have coming up that you're excited about, Scott?
I'm really excited about. I have this new song called Pop Star, and it's really cute, and it's very like you're gonna laugh, but it's super like Hannah Montana. It's just
Sure,
so
yeah.
much fun, and like it's a lot of
We
energy.
need more positivity and joy
Yeah,
and happiness. We've gone
it's
through crazy
very,
couple years, huh?
yeah, and I feel like it's very like it's very different like than what everyone else is doing. It's just but it's very family friendly. Like just like it's all about being like a pop star. It's just fun. Like it's a fun song. And I have a song called Bad Habits that's coming out. That's just like a really fun, like it was inspired, I told you earlier, by like the Madison Beer vibe. And then I have another one called Move Your Body. It's just like a really fun dance beat, like happy, fun song. And
there's this too, yeah. Can't Get You Out of My Head.
Yeah. This is this was a remix that we did for Daydreaming, and it was just like the hook on repeat. But we ended up just like saving the picture and going with Hector Fonseca's remix and changing the image. But
it's cool.
It was cool. It was really cool. I was really excited with Hector's final product.
Absolutely. Here's another one.
Yeah, that one that's the first song that I wrote in New York in my little model apartment.
Right.
I was like all by myself in my model apartment. I was like, I didn't have, all the guys were like hogging the TV in the living room, and that was the only TV we had. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go write music in my bedroom. So I wrote that song. It's so funny.
That is cool. So when you want to work it out musically, do you invite friends over? How do you work it out so you can hear how the instrumentation is going to be? Or do you wait till you're in the studio to do that?
I just wait till I'm in the studio. I usually, sometimes I'll ask my friends, like I'll send them voice memos, or sometimes when they come over, they'll just be like, oh, sing me a song. And I'll be like, okay, well, I just wrote this new one if you want to hear it. And they'll be like, yes, please. And so that's usually what we do. And it's fun.
What is your ritual? You know, you obviously had a routine and a ritual for modeling. How about for singing, as far as making sure that you can take care of your voice? I have a couple of friends who are classically trained. Some are even operatic singers. And like, I know one in particular, she won't go out whenever it's cold because she's just afraid of her voice constricting. And then if she has to be on stage the next day, it's not going to work out right. So are there certain things that you do either before you're going in the studio or going on stage, or just generally to sort of keep your voice conditioned and well-oiled?
I definitely drink a lot of honey. Like I will literally like honey to keep it all nice and like lubricated. But so I feel like that's something that I do all the time, and I always do my vocal warm-ups before I go into the studio because it's really important. You don't want to hurt your voice. And I just try to drink a lot of tea in the recording studio as well, like hot tea. And sometimes I'll drink iced coffees in the recording studio, and my producer will make fun of me, and he's like, Scott, why are you drinking iced coffee? You cannot, like, it's so not good for you. And I'm like, I know, I just need it.
You just need the boost, right? You need the energy and the boost. Exactly. Do you have anything else maybe you could sprinkle in a cappella? They're definitely asking. They're like,
sure.
Don't be shy. We want more. Hearts and all these comments. That's great.
Okay. What should I sing?
Surprise us. What's in your heart and soul right now? What comes to mind? Tell us, maybe you can tell us a little story about it and then lay it on us.
Okay. For all the times that you rained in on my parade, and all the clubs you get in using my name, you think you broke my heart, oh girl, for goodness sake. You think I'm crying on my own, well I ain't. 'Cause I didn't want to write a song, 'cause I didn't want anyone thinking I still care, I don't. But you still hit my phone up, and baby, I'll be moving on. And I think it should be something I don't want to hold back. Maybe you should know that my mama don't like you, and she likes everyone. And I never like to admit when I'm wrong, 'cause I got so caught up in my job, didn't see what's going on. But now I know I'm better sleeping on my own. 'Cause if you like the way you look that much, Oh, baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself.
Really nice, really nice. I tell you, you're
Just
very soulful singer. You really you could see it in your eyes and just the delivery and the sound of the voice. You really
probably
you
from
you
church.
you that'll do it. That will do it. But it really, you sort of capture the essence of it, and you're taking everybody on a ride with you, which is kind of cool. You when you're singing, I've often asked this of folks who are performers of all different backgrounds. Are you sort of transported to another time and place? Are you sort of like in your zone? Obviously, you're doing a cappella.
Sometimes, like I feel like when I'm performing, like when it's a small group, it'll be like when people are like close and it's just like very personal.
Intimate and
Yeah, it feels like sometimes I'll surprise myself. Like I'll be like,
yeah.
oh, that was pretty,
That
and
was
like,
really good.
but then sometimes I'll be like, oh, that wasn't the best, was it? It wasn't your best moment. So it just depends on like the moment. Like I feel like if you're really feeling it and you have good control and you just relax and try to just enjoy it and not get so lost in overthinking, oh, it needs to be perfect, and just enjoying the song.
You mentioned when we were chatting before we went live on the air, with all the different genres of music that you're tapping into and all the other cool things you're working on, that as you go into the studio, you're still finding your voice. Is that something that's still happening for Scott?
Oh yeah, I
You
feel
still
like
finding it?
I'm definitely still finding my own voice, and there'll be times where like I'll be getting inspired. Like I just recently was listening to a lot of George Michael, and I was like, I really like how raspy it is in the beginning, and he's also really soulful, and so I want to incorporate that a little bit more, and I feel like more of my sound, more from Fall for You to even this new EP that's coming out is different. I feel like we're always growing as artists, and I just like jumped into it. And some people spend years with somebody, like practicing but I just kind of like jumped into it.
George Michael was really good. Yeah. We had a guest on recently, James Gavin. I don't know if you know James, fabulous author and best-selling author, and he wrote a fabulous book, George Michael, A Life, and it's out like right now, and it talks about his life, all the different things and how George Michael himself. You may have known this. George Michael actually was really, really shy. He was a
Oh really? Oh yeah.
phenomenally talented guy, phenomenally talented. But that whole persona of what we saw when he was with Wham and then everything else
Yeah.
was sort of choreographed and sort of coiffed and created. But inside, he was actually very painfully shy on many different levels. But look what happens in the studio and on stage. He was able to do what he had to do, but he still struggled with that. He still didn't feel he lived up to or matched what the public wanted, what the public felt they saw, and what his image was offering. And he still inside always battled that sort of maybe, who's that person in the mirror? Is that really me or is it not? And sometimes that can happen, right? Especially when you have the public and everybody else, there's branding, there's all this other stuff sort of pulling at you in a lot of different directions. It's very easy to lose the essence of who Scott Gardner is, but
Yeah.
you've found a way to hang on to that with everything else that's happening by being authentic in everything you're doing anyway, right?
Yeah, I think it's just about being honest with yourself and sticking to who you are and remembering your roots.
Cool. That's right. That's exactly what
I'm
it's
like,
all
my
about.
phone is like dying. I'm like, no.
Is it really?
Yeah, I need to grab my charger.
Merlin wants to know if you have a pet.
Yeah, I do. I have a cat. Where is she?
Got a cat.
Yeah.
You don't have a power cord for that phone, do you?
I do.
Ah, there you got to see his chair. Everybody loves to see the guest's chair, and there it is.
Wait, where is my running?
It's kind of cool. This is what's great about live. He's going to get the cat, and he's going to get his extension cord. Good questions, Linda, as well. Yes, the magic of the stage brings it out. That's correct, Pam. You were right.
All right. We're live.
That's fantastic. See, all that working out paid off. You were able to get there and back in 5 seconds. And Crystal says, welcome, Scott. And yeah, really cool stuff. What's the cat's name?
My cat's name is Cat, like from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Because we adopted her from Petco. She was a rescue. And we thought her name was Danielle, but we felt like when we called her that, she didn't like it. Like, I feel like she was abused and her paws were declawed. So she definitely didn't have like a great owner before us. So we just were like, let's not call her Danielle anymore. Let's call her Cat. And because we were watching Breakfast at Tiffany's, and we were like, and she was like, well, once, I'll give the cat a name. And we just thought it was funny.
That is cool. That's fantastic. What's the personality the cat has? What would you say?
She's very needy and very loquacious. She likes to talk a lot, but she's a cool cat. I love her. She literally sleeps on my husband's hip every night or next to his head on the pillow. But she knows I move around too much, so she won't stay next to me.
We had a cat a while back, and the cat's name was a black cat with yellow eyes, really cool cat, and the name was Pompous, and lived up to that name.
That is so
Come here, Pompous.
No,
hey, Pompous.
Cat lives up to cat. No,
right. Oh, here's another great performer who's with us. Shelly Ray Speck is with us. She says, Shelly Ray Speck here, loving the interview and the George Michael reference. He was very shy. Yeah, he really, really was, which is amazing, to be able to
live that kind of lifestyle and be that shy. Like, it is really hard. I can't even imagine. I'm like, just like little things, like for me, like I've gone to perform a handful of times. I can't imagine he was performing all the time and being a shy person. That would be hard. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you know what I mean? You have to just cope.
Do you think that doing the stuff that you've done in modeling and in performance, singing and creating music, has helped you with the shyness at all? Help bring you up? Because not everybody can do that.
It's definitely helped when you're performing on stage. You go into like a zone of like focusing on like the light, like it's straight ahead or something, and going into that like out of it experience, like so you're not so nervous, like you're not really living in the moment, you're letting the moment like kind of live in you, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I feel like and when you're modeling, you're looking straight into the camera lens and you're kind of making that connection with the camera, and you're also getting into that zone. So I feel like it's with the shyness, it helps when you're zoning everything out and you're kind of just becoming this character. Like, I think it makes it fun. And then with music, you're also creating a character in the recording studio. So it's all just creating characters.
Exactly. Yes. What were you thinking when you did that shot? That's a cool shot.
I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm freezing cold.
All the behind the scenes stuff.
And I think it was like, it was fall, I think. I was cold. I was like, but we were like, we need a beach shot.
Because, especially in fashion.
It was right before summer, I think.
In fashion, like with anything, you got to be like 6 months ahead. So you might be shooting stuff in the fall that's like for the spring.
Yeah, it was like coming out in summer. So they wanted it to be very Hollywood beachy, like was the vibe. And it was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. What are some other things that you'd like to do that you haven't done yet? Would you like to get involved in television and film and things of that nature too, Scott?
I think it would be really cool. Yeah, I would never say never. I think one thing I want to do still when it comes to music is collaborate with other artists, collaborate with other new producers, collaborate with songwriters, make music. And that's really my passion. But I mean, if something came along the lines, I mean, try out. I mean, I had an audition once for the Red Power Ranger,
Did you?
and
Yeah.
it didn't get it, but it was a cool experience to do like an acting audition. To
Oh,
have to do
yeah.
the script and memorize it, and it was cool. And like I know all that when I was a kid and when I was in high school. I did theater and all that stuff, so it was like, oh, okay, I can do this.
That's cool. That's cool. And again, you never know. I'm sure Broadway and others will be calling. You're in the city there, so they have witness to your incredible talent, which I think is really really cool. And it's just a matter of discovery with that. But it's cool stuff. And so, how did you guys meet? How did that happen? Were you at a
So I
performance?
was I was working for Lisa Vanderpump at her restaurant called Pump, and he was owned an interior design studio next door to Sir, which is another restaurant that
Yeah.
she owns. She was on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, if you know Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah.
And and so she was they were knocking it down and they were extending. He was selling it to her, so they were going to extend her. So he would come in and have his meetings with her all the time, and he would come in, and that's how we met. And so yeah, I was like, he's so nice. Like, I had a boyfriend at the time, so I didn't like give him my information or anything like that. I was just like, he's really cool. He's a really nice guy. Like, I remember thinking, I wonder what it would be like to date somebody that nice, because at the time I was dating someone who wasn't very nice to me, and
Mm.
so like I was like, I just remember thinking that, and then fast forward like 4 years later, he was like, I see you're in New York, like, can I take you on that date now? Like, and I was like, I'm single. Yeah. I was like, damn, it's like you really waited.
That's it, right? That's
Yeah.
cool. Does he like to sing, or are you the
He
singer in the
actually
house?
does. Yes. He did harmonies with me on the Christmas song. If you listen to it, you can hear he did harmonies with me on that song. And he was so excited. He has a theater voice. Like, he loves to sing.
That's cool. So, what are
Yeah.
some of the other cool blessings and joys in your life that keep pushing you forward? Every day is something different, and
Mhm.
we've experienced some wacky times the last couple of years, that's for sure. What are some things
Yeah.
that propel you forward, that keep you positive and
I
excited about
have
things?
like 5 nieces and nephews who I love like they're my own. And I have Alex, who's 16, and then I have Faith, who's 13, and then I have Aurora, who's like 2, and Oliver's 3, and Quinn is 7. So they're all like these fun, different ages. So it makes it so exciting, and that's why my music is so family friendly, because I love them, and I want them to listen to it and be able to sing along and have fun with it. So I feel like they keep me going.
That's cool. That's really great. It's always good to have lots of sources of inspiration, throughout
Yeah.
every single day. Somebody that pops in towards the latter part of the show, just wanted to say hello, the legendary comedian, Mr. George Burns. Everybody, they laugh and right there he is. He's got his cigar and he's got his red hanky there, and he's always dapper. He pops in and he said you knocked it out of the park. He loved your
Oh,
voice. He said he really enjoyed this. We don't call these interviews here; we call these conversations. And
oh,
he really enjoyed the conversation, learned so much about you, and he sends you lots of his levity and blessings and continued success coming your way from George Burns himself. How cool is that?
yes. I love it.
Isn't it great? It makes
Yeah.
everybody laugh. It puts a smile. We did a nostalgic show like 2 years ago, and I brought him out, and my aunt collected dolls. And she collected. I mean, he's a serious collector. He's not even supposed to be out of the box or the wrapping, but I brought him out, and he comes out, towards the latter part, and she collected these dolls, and it got passed down to me. So then I bring him out towards the latter part, and
why not?
That's it, exactly. So you got a lot of cool things coming up, and scottgardnermusic.com is the website. You can, get everything you want there, but also Spotify, Amazon, everything is there too, right?
Yeah, iHeartRadio app,
iHeartRadio.
Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, like all the major platform,
Pandora, right. That is so cool. Sherry in Kansas says, thank you for joining us tonight, Scott. What an amazing career so far. Good luck in all you do in the future. Mary Bishop in Florida. Thanks for the great conversation tonight, Scott and Jim. Good luck in all of your future endeavors. That's really cool. Maureen, Arizona. These are some of the real faithful lovities. Scott, this has been a wonderful conversation. As you know, Jim is the best at what he does. Thank you, Maureen. Thanks for spending your evening with us. That's great. Thank you for those kind words, Maureen. Merlin in Canada says, thanks, Scott, for being here. Loved this conversation. Thank you, Merlin. Crystal is here, says, thanks for joining us tonight, Scott. She loved it as well. Kathleen in New York City. Scott, thank you for being here with us. Best of luck in all you do. You are a sweet person. Merlin says, nice looking couple. Toby in Encino, California says, he kind of looks like Zac Efron. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but look at him. He's turning red. You made him blush, Toby. He's turning red.
That's a first.
I tell you, there's always a first, right? This is fantastic. And you and I are in the tri-state area. So hopefully, we'll meet at some point. That'll be incredible. I'm sure we know a lot of the same people in these industries that we work in. This was fantastic. Anything that you wanted to say about our conversation or the show, or anything you're excited about sharing?
Just thank you so much for having me. I had a good time, having the conversation. I had a lot of fun.
I did too. Yeah, it was truly a pleasure and a real delight. And it was a pleasure having you here. Shelly Ray Speck says, loved it, Jim and Scott. Oh, yes. And Merlin said, which you said you were excited about, you're officially a lovity. So, there are Grammys and Tonys, Tellys, Emmys, Peabodys. There's all these cool awards, but when you get a lovity on the Jim Masters show, most guests say their feet start tingling. Are you tingling? One guy said, I think somebody said that they were, I think Jeff Harner, the fabulous New York cabaret singer extraordinaire, or more. I think he said that he was not, his feet weren't just tingling, he was levitating when he heard it was a lovity.
I love it.
Pretty cool to be a lovity, huh?
Right. It feels great.
That's it. You're the best, Scott. This is really fantastic. And congratulations on everything. Good luck. Congratulations on everything you've done thus far with your fabulous modeling career, the singing and songwriting that you're doing, and sharing all this cool music with us. We're going to keep the porch light on for you. You're welcome back anytime, my friend. And spread the word about our show. Other people you think like to pop on. Everybody's welcome to join us here at the Jim Masters Show. Okay.
All righty. Thank you for having me.
You be welcome, and you take care of yourself, and real pleasure, my friend. You stay well, okay?
All righty.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Scott Gardner, he is being well, and he's having a great time, and we're so happy to have him here on the show. Did you enjoy it, gang? If you did, leave a comment for us. Give us a thumbs up right now before you go away. There's a thumbs up icon on our YouTube channel right next to this episode on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Click that. Give us a thumbs up. That really helps us grow and expand. And leave a comment on our YouTube channel as well. That helps us too grow and expand and reach more people right here on the Jim Masters Show, entertainment, lifestyle, variety talk show series. Really cool having singer, songwriter, dancer, modeler, everything, or model, Scott Gardner. He's not really doing the modeling as much as he did because he's so immersed in singing and songwriting, and he absolutely loves it. These are just a few photos, from the modeling years, just a few. But But yeah, really, really cool to have him here on the show and to talk about his career and all the other cool things that he's doing. I mean, there are thousands of pictures. We just picked a few to sprinkle in during the conversation from his modeling days. But of course, he's a terrific singer and songwriter, and you could tell he's really, really passionate about it. And that's the key. He's really passionate. He's having a good time. A little bit of a perfectionist, he said, but hey, that makes sense. There's a lot of perfectionists that are in these industries, and good-hearted soul, passionate about what he does. No ego, just wants to make music and put smiles on people's faces. And that's always been my motto too. Check the ego at the door. There's a lot of people that have egos, and they'll be very happy to let you know that, and they'll shove the ego right in your face. That's not what we do here at the Jim Masters Show, and it's obviously not what Scott does as well. Really cool to have him here on the show. Lots of great shows coming up as well, gang, here on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We would absolutely love that. We're very easy to do. There's a red button there. It doesn't cost anything. It's that red button you see there that says subscribe. We would love that. There's no cost to do that. And click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes. You're always alerted when we have the episodes. Sometimes we do them at different times based on my schedule and the guest schedule and everything else going on in life. All right, let's take a look at a couple of other comments before we duck out here. Thank you, Jim, for having Scott. Enjoyed listening to him. Thank you, Jim, for all you do. The pleasure is all mine. Linda in Florida. Kathleen says, you're looking wonderful, Jim. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thumbs up for Kathleen in New York City. You've got good taste, Kathleen. Thanks, Kathleen. Crystal says, love you, my lovities, and cheers. Fantastic. Right back at you there, Crystal. Always a pleasure when you're tuning in with us here on the Jim Masters Show live series. We love it. Love it. Love it. Maureen says, he's got killer eyes. Such a handsome young man. Great voice too, huh? Extremely photogenic. Thanks, Jim. Great show. The pleasure is all mine, just for you. Glad you guys enjoyed it. He's in New York City, so he's in our neck of the woods here. It's so nice to be back in Lovely Hall after being gone over the weekend. If you missed anything, you can see it all archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. You'll never miss anything if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can see all the episodes. Good to see you, Maureen and Kathleen and everybody watching. Even George Burns in the house tonight. This was really fantastic. You guys are great. Yep, Scott Gardner here. ScottGardnerMusic.com is the website. As he mentioned, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, all of that is there. All of his great music and more music to come. We will have him back, of course. A lot of our guests love to come back on our show. Matter of fact, a lot of them ask when they can come back as soon as we wrap up an episode, which I think is a real true blessing. So, and you're a blessing too. Thanks for watching. Always cool to have you here, whether you're watching live or you're watching Memorex, watching this later on. Hope your day's going well. Hope you had a good, couple of days or wherever you are watching around the world, whatever time of day it is. We welcome you and welcome you and welcome you. It's always a pleasure to have you here on this very special place we call the Jim Masters Show. Really, really nice. And Jim, have you been getting in your last summer popsicles for the season before fall? Yes, we still have a box of popsicles in the freezer, and I think we're going to have one right after I wrap this show up. Time for a popsicle. Yeah, you guys are the best. Thanks for joining us here on the Jim Masters Show. Always a pleasure to have you here. We love when you guys are watching from all around the world. Keep the comments coming. And if you have guest suggestions, let us know. We're always welcoming new folks from all backgrounds, all, celebrity friends of mine that I've worked with, folks from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, sports, comedy, culinary arts. Did I say that already? Food. Let's just cut that right to food. Cut to the chase. food. Yes, because I know we've got a foodie crowd here. Whenever we talk about food, even slightly, all of a sudden, everybody perks up. Talk about food. So yeah, and good stuff. All right. We had raviolis for dinner, and we had 2 chocolate chip cookies. Shouldn't have had the cookies, but they were very good. All right. Love you all. Take care. Be well. We thank Scott Gardner for being with us and spending this amount of time with us. It was really cool to have him here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show. Stay tuned. Amazing guests coming up. You can find me on all the social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Of course, our group, the Jim Masters Show, Liberty Hall on Facebook as well. And of course, our YouTube channel, home to hundreds and hundreds of episodes of our series, the Jim Masters Show Live. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later. We say sayonara, avida zane, hasta la vista. We say slancha, take care, be well, moi loop, all the rest. Shalom. You guys be well. And more comments coming in. A couple more here, and we'll squeeze on out. Let's see. You are an extreme foodie, and Linda loves the archives. I binge watch your show. We love Linda. Yes, you can binge watch, the episodes. Don't miss a show because, if you catch it when it's not live, because it's already aired live, check it. It's right there for you, and you enjoy. All right. They're all here for you. All right. Jen and Sherry and Crystal and Linda, Maureen and Merlin and Mary and Kathleen and everybody else that's watching quietly or commenting. We thank you for being with us right here on the Jim Masters Show. We'll see you again soon. We'll be back tomorrow with another great episode on the broadcast. And don't forget, right here on our YouTube channel, you can binge watch as much as you want, as often as you want. Tell everybody you know about our show. Spread the word, too. We would love that. We'll see you on the next one, okay? You guys are the best. And I know the Mets are hanging on to first place. Nobody say anything. I have been very quiet about it. I don't want to jinx anything. It's amazing that, they've come this far into the season, now into September. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right, gang, we're going to pop out of here. How'd you like some of the other episodes we had with Scott Scoville and Julian Popoff and some of the others that have been on our show recently? If you missed any of them, check it out. Check it out. They're all there for you. Great episodes, past, present, and future. Thank you, Merlin. And God bless the Queen and God bless the King. Of course, we're talking about Queen Elizabeth II, who passed. And now all of the pomp and circumstance and the ceremonies are underway. She's lying in state right now, I believe, in Scotland, and then we'll be headed to London. And you guys know Masters is a British name. My father's side of the family, his father's side, England, Yorkshire. And we believe there's some Scottish in there as well. And we know definitely the Irish on my father's mother's side. And my mother's side, English on her father's side, and French and Swedish on her mother's side. But you may have more. You never know if you dig deep enough. But we definitely know the British side with Masters, that's for sure. British. Yeah, rest in peace, the Queen. All right, gang. So with that, we say cheerio. I hope you had a bloody good time. Yeah, she was a real giver. Yeah, really stately, elegant person, charming, witty, funny, and quite a servant. She really was an extraordinary servant. Queen Elizabeth II, we send our regards to all. All right. We'll see you again soon, okay? You guys take care and be well, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Right here, we'll be waiting for you in this host chair, in this host studio on the Jim Masters Show Live. Take care, be well, gang. We love you all. Good seeing you. We'll see you again soon on JMS. Cheers.